want to sit.
My ass hurts,
Oh,
Steve.
hold on. I got a smart idea. After I smack that around, I'm going to...
You let me know if that works.
Oh, it's better.
Is it?
It's a little better.
All right.
It's not amazingly better,
So now,
but at least I don't have it like quite just riding up in there. Anyways, listener Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. I'm sure you guys came here for that. Also, I feel like I just spiked the audio, and I see
my
that
name's
this is
Arnes.
not facing the right direction. Today, we want to discuss growing up liking Godzilla and how that affected us
How
as
life was sad.
90s kids. Yes, how sad it was. Because I don't know about Arnes, because I know with Arnes, he wasn't stateside his entire time.
Came to America in 1997.
97, so you were like the TriStar Godzilla.
No. First movie I saw was 98 Godzilla.
TriStar Godzilla. Like Arnes is like, no. This is in fact, it's TriStar Godzilla.
99 Godzilla, excuse me.
That's 2000. Anyways, I had the privilege.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve.
I was like, did you have like where you have access to like the show us stuff?
We had that TV that, like the old ones, like the tube, and you click it, but it was black and white, and there was one channel that always played those old movies, and there was Godzilla. Those are the movies that I watched, and it was usually like the 80s movies on there.
Oh, it even been like the older ones than that.
Yeah.
Because previously it'd be like 70s. Because I know growing up, for me, my first introduction to Godzilla was when I was, 4? And you have the figure hanging out over there.
I was
We're
looking at
getting
this.
to this. God.
We'll go back to looking at this. It's actually kind of neat.
I need you to hand me the figure. This is a Gamera.
It's Godzilla.
I need an Imperial Godzilla.
Imperial. Okay, I got you. You guys ever wonder how he deals with me? He beats me off the camera.
It's true. You see these spikes? Right into the forehead. Anyways, so this is actually the first Godzilla I've ever had. A lot of you that have been watching the channel for years, and I mean years, like we're getting pretty close to 10 years we've been randomly doing YouTube.
We don't talk about this, Steve.
But this is the one from my childhood. Funny enough, I've had multiples of these growing up, but this is definitely the one that was my first introduction to Godzilla, because when I was little, I really loved dinosaurs. My mom, knowing that I like dinosaurs, thought that I would like Godzilla, so she got me this. It got me interested.
How right she was.
And I think she also got me a few of the VHSs. Now, I don't remember exactly which ones, but I had a few of them growing up.
My first Godzilla figure I had would be the 98 Stomp one with the handle, and you press the thing. And
Oh, that thing is horrible, but I love it because I have it too. It hangs out upstairs.
I miss that thing.
I bought that thing with my own money, putting pools together over a summer.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I worked at a pool store for... God, I was 11? No, 13. I was 13 when that movie came out. And I would go help on the weekends, and I would get paid a little bit of money. And I would go shortly afterwards. There was a Toys R Us on the way home. I would stop in and get Godzilla figures with whatever money I had.
I had the Star Wars Destroyer, like the whole ball, and you open it up, and it's got all that stuff in there. Yeah, Godzilla would stomp the shit out of that.
Oh yeah, that was like the whole, like my mom refused to buy me Power Ranger stuff, but she would buy me the Power Ranger villains because they could fight Godzilla stuff. She was okay buying me those.
That is an odd thing.
It was weird because like what's more closer to Godzilla and Ultraman than Power Rangers? But she like refused to buy like Zords or the Rangers.
I had Beetleborgs instead of Power Rangers. Is that weird?
Nope. She also would not buy me Superhuman, which I was obsessed with too when that series came out. None of these are from my... Like, I think I had 2 of them because my stepdad bought them for me. Which did not survive my childhood.
I had Beetleborgs. That's what I had growing up.
Beetleborgs were dope.
It was not Power Rangers, it was Beetleborgs.
I have the Japanese figures. But anyways, we're good. Now track.
I'm sorry.
So, like, my initial movies that I've seen were a lot of the old show ones. So it would have been, like, Godzilla Raids Again, Godzilla vs. Sea Monster. I think we had Megalon and Mechagodzilla. Because, oddly enough, Terra Mechagodzilla is, like, impossible to find. Same with, like, Son of Godzilla, Godzilla versus Hedorah was notably a
Godzilla
hard
versus Hedorah was the one that played on TV a lot.
Yeah, that's like I had
Yes.
I recorded on VHS, and that's how I had it for a while. Because I used to do that all the time. And my favorite was like, was it AMC? Because they would play the Bluish Occult theme, and that would be like in my recordings of the VHSs.
I recorded over that in one VHS so much that it wouldn't even record over it anymore.
Right.
Good old days.
So I grew up with that. Now the fun thing is me being a kid that liked Godzilla. I can't say growing, God, at least till middle school, I met no one that was interested in it. Nearly to the same level that I was.
I didn't even know there was like this whole Godzilla thing until I met Steve. No joke. Like, it was just like, I watched a Godzilla myself, and I was like, in high school, I was like, to ask people, they're like, what's Godzilla? And I'm like, nothing. I'll just put myself over here in this corner.
I was the kid that was like obsessed with Godzilla. So I would always try to find kids that were maybe into it. And this was like, you think like heyday, like this is like mid-90s. Power Rangers is one of the biggest things going. You had like we were just mentioning, like Superhuman Samurai. You had Beetleborgs. You had the Beverly Hills Alien show. Whatever. I can't even remember how to say the name.
We don't talk about that. But you think
more kids would have got invested in that. Same with like Jurassic Park, like all the dinosaur movies. You think that would have got it? Nope, it was just me. So I was always kind of, generally I would say, picked on.
Yep.
For liking it. Because, I don't know, it was one of those things like, everybody was into like the Power Rangers stuff, but that was cool at the time. Godzilla was not cool.
Which I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, Godzilla, like I said, it played on TV all the time. But when I asked people, nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, it wasn't even like...
98 was in a movie theaters. The 2000 came out. I remember 2000. I went to watch a 2000. It was just me in a movie theater by myself.
Yeah, so I know definitely for me, it was really hard to find anybody with common interest with that growing up.
The funny thing is, when I went to see the Godzilla 2014 came out, and it was just me in a movie theater, and there was another dude in there, and he had like 7-8 Godzilla figures in the seats, and I was like, there's somebody else besides me and Steve?
Yes.
I was like, hey, buddy, how's it going?
He's a man of culture.
He was a man of culture.
Yeah, then I think the worst thing, too, is people seeing my love of Godzilla. It was one of those, like, you could never find kids that were into it, but adults got along with them all the time. Because you're like, oh, wait a minute, you actually like Godzilla? Like, I know in high school, like, one of the teachers I actually talked to on a regular basis because he also was like Godzilla, so he tried to quiz me. Like every time I went into his class.
I think we all had that one nerd teacher that was into stuff like that. I had one. He was a geometry teacher, and he was into Power Rangers, Beetleborgs, Godzilla, all that stuff we grew up with.
Yeah, and I think it got even worse for me, like for high school. Because high school, I would say generally I was pretty well liked for the most part. Like I was kind of hung out in the middle. But it wasn't until high school, like middle school, I would say it was probably the roughest for me. Because I know, like, for instance, if you want to hand me the Godzilla book, like, one thing I used to do a lot is I had a hard time focusing at school, so, like, I would sometimes be looking at these or messing around with them. Because especially, like, math and stuff, I get really bored because I get the stuff done early. So I would usually fudge around with this. And, again, people would actively make fun of me because I was super into this stuff. And then, oh my god, don't even get me started on anime. Because, like, Toonami got me into anime, and I got into the more obscure stuff.
I got made fun of for that.
It was worse than video games. At least, like, the video games, like, I know some people were like, oh, it wasn't cool at the time. Like, generally, most of the growing up, that was definitely looked upon more highly than anime. And then, especially once I got into high school, it was, like, the people that were, like, super nerdy were kind of, like, smug to me because I liked anime. But I didn't really come off as a dude that liked anime. Like, you look at me, I look like, generally speaking, like, especially growing up, I just looked like some dude that was, like, into hardcore metal. So I had, like, spiked hair and everything. But I in general, would probably know more about Japanese, like, culture, anime movie, like, anime and stuff like this.
This thing is very neat, by the way.
It is cool. But I remember specifically one time, some kid stole that from me in a class, and I called the called him out on it. And he's like, "Oh no, it's mine." And I literally was like at the teacher. I'm like, "Who else would really have this in the class?" I got it back, but it was just like you know it's mine. Everybody knows it's mine because I'm the only one that liked it.
Back in the days, those times,
Kids were mean.
You get out of school at 2:30, you run home to make it home in Tsunami to watch anime. And then you pretend to go to bed at 10, and then you'd wake up at 12 and turn on the...
Yeah, still watch it?
Yeah, Adult Swim still watch it.
Yeah, I got so obsessed with anime that we had Dish growing up because, especially too, I don't know if a lot of people knew, but I had an older brother, and he was severely handicapped, so we didn't really get to go out much. So my mom always made sure, we had, she'd get, new movies every week. We had video games. We had a lot of stuff to do at home. And we'd go out and do things periodically. I lost where I was trying to go with this. But anyways, I didn't get out much.
Yeah,
so,
that's okay.
having access to all, the Dish channels and stuff like that, you get some of the weird channels that they actually played anime that you never know.
Steve saw a lot of fuzzy channels, if you know what I mean.
Oh, they weren't fuzzy.
Oh!
But the problem is you didn't have privacy because there'd be nurses and stuff. So I was like, what can you really do? Anyways, I digress. So that's where I got into watching I remember Gunsmith Cats would play, which I still can't freaking find that anime for a reasonable price.
No, oh my god. Some of these animes from back in our days are hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it's where I first got introduced to Hellsing, Hikai J, Bubblegum Crisis. I think that's where I first seen Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D.
Ninja Scroll, holy crap! I remember watching that first time.
Yeah, I watched that because high school. I think it was when I got into more people that were at least accepting of what I liked. Because I would get friends with some of the nerdy people. They'd be like, we'd be watching anime stuff, and I would suggest watching the Godzilla movies. And the only thing I kind of I loved, they would be more willing to check out the Godzilla movies. But then it was always, we weren't really watching it for the fact of we were all enjoying it. We were mainly watching it to make fun of everything.
Steve, we were ahead of time, okay? Because by the time everyone started thinking this stuff was cool, we were already super cool.
That's why I grabbed the one, because it's when this guy came out, is I think the first time Godzilla, it's always been I don't want to say mainstream, but everybody knew who it was.
Yeah.
He was an icon, if you will. But it wasn't until this guy came out that it started being cool.
It's crap. Which
is also really when I would say to anime and stuff like that started being seen more fondly.
Yeah, now it's a whole culture.
Yeah, it's almost not cool to like anime.
Yeah, which is crap.
Like I said, the one thing that was always nice about the YouTube channel, I think we mentioned this before, is the first time I really got to really show off my love of Godzilla stuff.
Really find out there's other people out there like us, which is weird. Like I said, when I went to watch 2000, there was nobody in that movie theater.
Oh yeah, I remember going to see 98. 98 was actually pretty busy, but 2000, yeah, I think it was me and one other guy, while my parents went to go see something else.
Yeah, 2014 is the first time I walked in the movie theater and I seen somebody sitting there and a guy he just had.
And it was packed. At least when I went to see it, because I saw it first day. Same with Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was really busy.
Oh my god, yes, Pacific Rim was crazy.
Yeah, it's just nowadays, the giant monster genres definitely looked more highly upon than what it used to be. Which is great. But it's just growing up in those trying 90s times was just, I would say it was not fun.
I didn't speak English
back
how hard
then, Also, you know how hard it was to date? Liking this stuff? Because I didn't even have a real girlfriend till towards the end of high school. Because it was I still liked the stuff, but I wasn't actively showing it off like I used to.
Should have, Steve.
Should
have started with a bang. Hey, baby, you want to see my Zilla?
Yeah, explain that to a girl you finally bring a girl home.
and
I still have all the stuff hanging out. And she thought it was creepy, so ended up all
around me,
not collecting it as much. I still liked it, and I would still at that time I think I was more into anime anyways, so I was fine with it not being as displayed as it was.
My manga collection was on its own level.
Mine's still huge. Used to be bigger.
You know, I got laid and I ended up with a kid, and then everything had to go bye-bye.
I was to say, I did everything backwards.
Touche, Steve. Touche. I should have went your route.
Yeah, good. And then it was like finding a girl, like eventually with Jessica, being someone that was actually into the same stuff that I was. Like, she actually liked Godzilla. I won't say as much. But at least she was like in the dinosaurs, the Jurassic Park stuff, so that helped a lot.
Now
to be understanding.
Now it's time to look again, Steve. There's dating websites just for Godzilla fans, which is great.
Oh. Guys have it lucky.
Right?
At least like the people starting like, I don't want to say getting into it now, but
I was made fun of, Steve. I was made fun of.
It's yeah, as I say, but it's just amazing at how easily accessible a lot of this stuff is now. Because even like anime's been fairly accessible for a bit, but even the Godzilla stuff now is like you can find it like on HBO. There's the DVDs, the box sets are coming out, stuff like that. When I used to have to like hunt down the VHS copies or buy like the bootleg VHS at a Godzilla convention.
You remember the Mammoth Video store?
Yep.
They had like 2 Godzilla movies.
Blockbuster used to be okay, but Blockbuster and Suncoast. I used to check Suncoast all the time to see if they had like a new Godzilla.
They had stuff?
Yeah, that's where I got like Godzilla vs. Biollante. I think it was the first legit Heisei Godzilla movie I had. Because when I went to the Godzilla convention, I got all the other ones, but I don't think they were authentic.
See, they had.
But I have.
They had Godzilla Raids Again. I remember that.
Yep.
And they had the. I seen the Hedorah on the TV all the time. I know they had that, but they had one more, and I can't remember, and that's all they had.
I remember Mothra playing a lot growing up. It took me a long time to actually own the movie, but it was.
Seen it so much.
But like I'm just, well, even just like finding the VHSs.
Oh,
like it was just like you had to pray to God that they actually had the VHS hanging out.
Well, even now, actually, it's kind of hard. Like if you want to buy VHS or find them, or like you can't.
Well, not VHS, but even like the DVDs, it's like certain ones. Like it's kind of like Monster Arts. You kind of got to get them when they're available.
Yeah, I got.
But even like a lot of them you can stream now.
I'm looking for like all of them on 4K, right? And I got 2014 on 4K, and I got the new one. I can't find King Ghidorah one.
Oh, King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have to like order it.
Best Buy actually was pretty good. It had a couple of them in 4K. That's where I snatched them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so other than that, I think that was really all I wanted to talk about.
We had a sad life. Don't judge.
Nah, I think it was pretty good overall. It just amazes me at how hard it was to find people with common interests. Like usually I had to bond with people over like video games. Anime eventually helped a bit. And oddly enough, wrestling. I think I got more friends from wrestling than anything else.
Yeah. I love wrestling.
We used to play the card game. That was awesome. Same with card games. I played I would say like I was the closest thing to Yu-Gi-Oh growing up because I played all the card games. Just so I had something to do that wasn't at home.
I loved watching Yu-Gi-Oh. I loved playing the PlayStation Yu-Gi-Oh game. That thing was amazing, but I just did not get into the cards.
Duel of the Rose is sweet. The actual Yu-Gi-Oh card game I didn't play much. Like I mainly played it actually later on with Jess because Jess was in it. But I played like Magic the Gathering, the Dragon Ball Z card game.
I remember in middle school, Hollandwood's middle school. Actually, we played Magic the Gathering in our homeroom class.
Yeah, I played a lot of Magic. The Dragon Ball Z card game, the wrestling card game.
I wonder how those kids are doing these days.
Legend of the Five Rings. We played the Yu Hakusho card game for a little bit.
Dragon Ball Z game. I remember playing that.
Dragon Ball Z game was great. I beat a guy that won like Gen Con. That was fun. He was very ornery. Mage Knights. Like I played a lot of games just to kind of get out of the house, which also just meant I had a lot of card games just hanging out. But it was fun. But anyways, let us know in the comment section below how it was for you growing up, because I'd love to hear it.
If you're growing up right now, we also want to know what that's like.
Yeah, it's like easy to find common ground with a lot of more people. Because like I said, it was
different now than what it was back then.
Yeah, because for the most part, like I mentioned, even if I was watching Godzilla with other people, it wasn't because they were enjoying it. It was more like
making fun of it.
Like it was like a good party. Let's get drunk and watch some Godzilla movies. But I like those movies.
Everyone's laughing. Steve's laughing too, but he's crying on the inside.
Yeah, I had one friend that would sit there and watch them with me. And usually, yeah, we were just shit talking it eventually. But he was also one where we would go buy like random animes. Just go check them out. Back when they weren't cheap. Anyways, help us defeat those kaijus by hitting the like button. Subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, Facebook. Guys, like keep up the day with channel. Donate. We greatly appreciate it. Also, guys, like to get yourselves some Godzilla collectibles for yourself.
Oh,
not this one. This is a bad example. I don't think I have a good example down here in the basement.
Just go look at Entertainment Earth.
Yeah, buy some yourself some toys. Help support the channel. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.